Hello, everyone, and welcome to Elevate Your Business. I'm Ed Jarecki, and I'm thrilled to guide you through today's episode, designed to inspire and empower you on your journey to business success. For today's episode of our video podcast, we are thrilled to have with us a distinguished guest who is currently the managing member and VP of Strategic Partnerships at ValiCor US, John Kilmer. ValiCor US uses advanced AI to thoroughly analyze one's psychological makeup in order to provide a reliable, objective information that informs future actions. Through their efforts to ensure effective validation processes to improve outcome accuracy, ValiCor US developed cutting-edge technology called HEAT, a software application which provides a one-of-a-kind 360 view of one's emotional blueprint. This technology brings required context and intelligence for true accuracy and insight. Since joining ValiCor in January 2023 with a strong focus on strategic leadership, John has led the development and execution of high-valued partnerships, significantly enhancing ValiCor's market footprint, including establishing new and expanded relationships across 22 different countries. His expertise in operational excellence and emotional intelligence has fostered a culture of collaboration and innovation, empowering cross-functional teams to achieve strategic objectives. As John joins us on the show, he'll shed light on what success means to him personally and how his definition has evolved over time, as well as one or two of his top challenges and the lessons learned associated with them. And finally, for today, we'll explore how John has leveraged innovation in his business and other work to overcome challenges and achieve his goals. Please join me in welcoming John Kilmer, a true leader in strategic planning and market expansion. And without further ado, John, welcome to the show. Great to see you again. How are you doing?
Thank you, Ed, for having me. I'm well. I'm okay. Thank you.
Outstanding. Appreciate you being on the show. We had a little bit of pre-conversation, and that all stemmed from your product that you sent me to do a test run. So instead of me trying to explain it further than what I did in the intro, could you explain a little bit about your company and your product?
Sure. ValiCor US is an emotional intelligence firm that is providing an application called HEAT. It's a SaaS-based and PaaS-based desktop laptop use right now. And HEAT stands for Human Emotion Analysis Technology. And the way you use HEAT is pretty simple. There's a login, you sign up, and then you do a live session. And this live session gives you 5 emotional profiles: pie chart, a wave chart, a snap chart, a diff chart, and a correlation chart. And these outputs give you deep emotional insight on what you believe you're seeing and also what you're probably hiding from yourself and others. And the purpose of it was to essentially be able to help initially our veterans who are dealing with PTSD from telehealth purposes. And as we developed it, we found that it was had a wide variety of other use cases and capabilities, from detecting deception to financial commitment for banks, jury selections, athletic readiness, vetting for human resources. The list goes on. Prison systems for helping prisoners, inmates, get through the process of being incarcerated. So there's a lot of beneficial use cases for it. But that's in a nutshell.
Incredibly interesting. I love the conversation we had. I'm definitely interested in learning more, and I'm going to go back into the test site later today and try it again.
Thank you.
So, you've been through quite a bit. You've made some incredible accomplishments in a short amount of time while being with ValiCor US. Tell me today, how do you define success?
To me, it's not what you do, it's really how you do it. Do you believe in yourself? I think it's an internal thing where you can say, I can do this. I have the power and the ability to know myself well enough to individually and collaboratively, depending on what you're doing, to do it well. I think Nigel, a great person, I think, who mentioned a lot of interesting things about business. He said in one of his videos, The Strangest Secret, a guy driving a truck, small little guy driving a big truck. He's happy. He's driving that truck, and you know what? He's probably successful. And in my terms, if you're happy and doing what you're doing and you love, then I think you're more successful than the stockbroker on Wall Street who is probably not that happy and working like a dog. and is not genuinely happy. I mean, we've talked about this, Ed. You came from corporate America. It's tough. Did you enjoy it? No. Would you say you're successful? Sure. But would you say you were happy? No. So I think it's a quasi thing of being confident with yourself to know that you can lead, that you enjoy your job, and that you're happy. And it doesn't really matter about the money if you do it well.
Very well said. And through your journey, has your definition of success evolved over time?
Yes,
How has it evolved?
absolutely.
How has it evolved?
When I got out of college, it was, oh, I want to be a billionaire. That's success. I'm going to get a big, big yacht. I'm going to make all this money so quickly. And, what I realized was a couple things. Success is the people you hang around with. It's how you also feel about yourself, especially around your parents and around the people you hang around with. And so I used to hang out with people I don't think brought me anything. I was always doing things for them. I never got anything in return. And I didn't feel successful. I didn't feel confident around my parents. I didn't feel confident around others. There wasn't this vibration that is in me now, which can come off very strong to others. But the reason why I come off to many people very strong is because I know who I am. And so when I was younger, it was always like, oh, what can I do to get a good job from the parents? What can I do to make more money? Because that's how success is defined. And that journey through college and my first company really taught me friends that can hold you back by their little snippet comments. Those little comments that they make belittling you, those are not friends. Cut them out. The people that work with you, nobody in my company works for me. I tell people, I don't work for you and you don't work for me. Everybody works with me. I tell everybody who works with me, there's the door. If you want to leave, you can leave anytime because I'm transparent. I don't own you and I don't believe in that corporate mindset. And I've realized the people that work around you with you, if they can't work with you and they tell you you need to do this, you need to do that, then that is holding you back. And that is unsuccessful because you are allowing these people who are thinking for themselves instead of as a team effort. So that I cut out. And so as I evolved and had some hardships that taught me some extremely valuable lessons. And I call them failures, temporary defeats. You can call, Napoleon Hill, whatever you want to call it. But I learned them. They're not mistakes. And I'm applying those now. And so for my definition of success, where it was just about money, it didn't matter who I hung out with, to now I'm very picky on who do I hang out with? Who do I give my time with? What does money really mean to me? People are more valuable to me than money. And I know myself as an individual more than I think most people in the rest of the world. And to me, that makes me more successful than them. And that's how my definition has changed over time.
And of course, that journey is always wrought with challenges. Well, it's never easy, right? And
Yeah,
you had already kind of alluded to some of the challenges. Could you take one or two of those and share with the audience the lessons learned?
it's tough. As an entrepreneur, it's tough. You don't have to be a business owner and be crazy, but to start something, I think to the capacity that I've been on a mission for 10 years, my life, I think I do have to be a little nuts because if I was a cog, I would call it, taking orders, I would have given up a long time ago. And what has happened to me is that I've alluded to it like people, like friends. I think the biggest thing that one of the things that really prevented me were how people around me during my evolution, who I thought were friends from high school, college, I had to drop them. I spent a lot of time alone. And then my journey with my first company, I can tell you right now, that's where I learned the most hard lessons. It really, that's why I'm so successful now and blowing up in 4 different countries instead of just one. and able to manage it delicately and plan it, anticipate it. You go through a cycle, and you have to go through this experience, I think, to learn the best way. My first round of people, I had the friends. These friends were, college buddies, and they tried to screw me over because they thought they knew better. I had to clean house. And then I went through the second cycle, and I call them the used car salesman. They, again, and you get to see this after 2 to 3 years. People get tired, and then they get their own ideas. And that's, again, not the right people you want. They're always willing to stick with you. And the people who will stick with you and you'll see the truest colors is when you don't have any money. Those, are your real friends that fight with you to get through when you have no money or funds. And these used car salesmen thought they knew better, had to clean house again. And then the third one was the subject matter experts. And they, very high level generals, ran corporations, again, thought they knew everything. And guess what? They didn't. We weren't able to take the product to the scale that I'm taking it now. And that learning curve, that experience of absolutely painful experiences. I lost people that I trusted. It is painful. I mean, I cried. I'm not going to lie. I cried in my bed because I had people who said, yeah, I got you, and then stabbed me in the back. And I think the best thing for any entrepreneur is you got to go for the experience. And I think if you go through a harder experience initially and you've got the grit, the wherewithal, you're going to come out stronger and you're going to explode and shock the world even better than before.
There's a lot of little golden nuggets in what you just said. Perseverance is one of the core items that you talked about. The second one that really shines bright is the removal of toxins from your life, toxic people from your life. And I've got a dear friend of mine in a previous podcast episode that was one of his core messages back to our audience as well, is that you surround yourself with the right people. They enable you, they help you, they truly support you. And it's also a journey that takes time. It's not an easy
Yeah.
journey, both emotionally and being ready to make that commitment
Yeah.
and stick with that commitment. And
Yeah.
then to travel to the other side and surrounding yourself with all the right people. The engagement and stuff is also, it's the networking, it's the work, it's the support, identifying those people that have knowledge in areas that complement each other to work as a team. So those are kind of the key takeaways. Did I do that justice?
Yeah, I think it's, and the perseverance and going through the journey, the big thing, and this relates to what heat is, it's having the wherewithal to know who you are. So whatever your journey is, you can get through it because each journey is going to come with its challenges and rewards. Doesn't mean because you make it successful. I talked to one of our advisors. I talk to my advisors all the time, and he said to me, John, why do you want to be a billionaire? I don't want to be a billionaire. And he says, you know what, John, I'm going to tell you something. When I got my first revenue, I thought I was like, yeah, it's great. It's got it. No, it wasn't the feeling we had. And I think we set really high expectations for ourselves. And then when we hit those markers, it's a downfall. And so that process, that experiences that you have, you need to know yourself or you're not going to make it there. And if you do make it there, you're not going to be the same person or as authentic or as genuine. You might be more cold. And heat really gives you that ability to get through that, to know yourself, to be able to empower yourself so you can get through anything and live a better life, honestly.
Outstanding. And of course, that leads us right into the conversation. Your whole business is wrapped around technology innovation. We've talked about the human side of that, your team aspect of how you're building this company to enable this product to be sold around the world. So, from your perspective, what are one or two of those key innovations that are really helping drive you?
The right team. I think you hear it over and over. I read in articles and magazines all the time and podcasts. You hear it. It is, you've got to have the right team. That's key because if you don't have the right team, you're not going to, you individually cannot do something of this magnitude. You might, but it won't be as great. It won't be unimaginable. It might be huge. You're successful. I would say the key thing, there are three things. really knowing yourself and taking time to talk to yourself. And by knowing yourself and talking to yourself and checking yourself every day, I do meditation, I do brain waves, I do grounding exercise, I run, I exercise, I swim. These are my grounding exercises. And I listen to my body, not just to my psychology, but my body as well. So once you have that part, then you need to build that team. And by having that clarity of you, you will be able to vet the right people. And that's why in the past, I hadn't taken that time with knowing me. And that's why I kept messing up with the wrong team. But now, because I've taken that deep time to really look into myself using heat, I used heat when I did the transition from my old firm to this firm. And it empowered me. I'm an angry, sad person. I still am to certain cases, but now I've acknowledged those. And then I found ways to help that, like grounding, like meditation, like brainwaves. And then you apply the team, and that team is going to be the right team. And then in regards to the technology just then sells itself. And so the technology, the back end is some of the coolest features, I think, is the live session. We've gotten tremendous feedback already and positive feedback from a lot of users right now in US, Canada, Ukraine, and United Kingdom. And I can tell you one of the coolest features I think all the consumers like is the live stream, because the live stream gives you this ability to not just look at one wave chart like typical standard, I think some of these past other products, but you get a pie chart that really gives you a 360 scope. It's kind of cool too. And then you've got the wave chart that really gives you that point by point, second by second. And then the big one is the differential chart. And that differential chart really gives to see, what am I really hiding? I'm smiling, but I'm actually giving a Duchenne smile. And so the live session then gives you that ability to see and self-assess yourself, self-identify yourself. What am I really feeling or hiding? And so then, when you save that, now we've got a history tab, and this history tab lets you go back. And our analytical tab plus the history tab lets you get to see the progress you're making. Am I going down? Because your emotions change overall. And you will fluctuate based on how much time are you spending? Are you really healing? What have new variables from the outside affected you that you're not able to control because you haven't built a certain part of you to resist that and cope with those and manage those? And so you will be able to see, like for me, my anger and my sadness has been going down and down further. My happiness has been actually shooting up in the positive side of the differential side more and more, higher in a greater weight, because I'm genuinely tapping into what I'm feeling. I don't sugarcoat it with others, and I express what I'm saying. Now, does that get me in trouble? Yeah, I think so. But is it better than lying to yourself? So I think one of the coolest features for our consumers is definitely the live stream, the analytical tab, and then the history tab. And we've got some really cool features that are coming out that will just further empower people with heat.
We talked a little bit about this before the show, but part of that connects people with, okay, this is the way I'm feeling. What do I do about that?
Mhm.
And then extending that further, you can actually, to your point, see the trend over time is, am I going the right way relative to my fear and sadness versus my happiness and energy? Very, very cool.
Absolutely. The code system, I think, is really going to be monumental in us being able to help certain use cases and sectors, I would say, depending on what it is. And that over time will allow us, on top of our mobile app that we're going to come out with, that is really tailored for PTSD, but it's going to give, I think, so many other opportunities that are going to spin off from that. Where we were talking about it, Ed, where you've got this code system. Okay, what's next? And this goes to the Minority Report and Fringe. How do we give these variables of predictive analysis? Well, maybe instead of predictive analysis or variables saying of what is going to potentially happen, give them based on their number system of that use case options of, hey, based on past evidence, these are probably based on your variables. The best meditation, therapy are just some of the different ones you can go to, and it can give weights to them. And then think about us bringing vendors in as a one-stop shop, really empowering the user. So they're not lost because the consumer wants everything at their fingertips, and we're going to give them that, but over time.
Very cool. Final takeaway. You've offered a lot of really nice golden nuggets to our audience. If there was one thing that you were to offer them and say, you really need to consider this as part of your entrepreneurial journey, what would that be?
Know who you are, and get rid of people who are going to say little things to you. These people are going to be your best friends. They're the ones who maybe had your back in a fight. They may even be your battle buddy. I'm dead serious. And they will hurt you more in the end. There will be early onset signs that will show you need to know yourself well enough to speak up to yourself and them to say no more. Because if you continue doing the same thing, being with the same people, you will be the same person that will never change and that will never truly probably able to capture what you want. So know yourself and have the courage will to change and challenge yourself to make that change. Because the one thing I do know, it is lonely for a little bit and it's hard. But the sooner you know yourself and the sooner you have the confidence, the courage, and the wherewithal and the shine to succeed.
Outstanding. Thank you so much. Any final thoughts?
No, I appreciate this, Ed. I do have to give you a shout out, Ed. When we first met, I'm always kind of wary of people. And as I said early on, I cherish my time very valuably. But I have to admit, your energy is great, Ed. And I love our talks that we've had. And I appreciate what you're doing. And shout out to others who listen to this. That is a true guy. I mean, he's really giving back. And I appreciate what you're doing, Ed. Humbled and honored to know you. And hopefully, as we continue to build this personal and business relationship. Thank you, Ed. Much appreciated.
You're very welcome. It is my honor, and I very much appreciate that. I want to thank you all for joining us today, and a special thank you to our phenomenal guest, John Kilmer, for sharing his insights, experiences, and success tactics with us. We hope this conversation has left you inspired and motivated to embrace the challenges of entrepreneurship with vigor, innovation, and adaptability. Remember, success comes in many forms, and it's essential to define it for yourself. But take the lessons shared by John to heart as you navigate your own entrepreneurial journey. Embrace change, seek out opportunities for growth, and always be willing to adapt to the ever-evolving landscape of business. Thank you once again to our incredible guest speaker, John Kilmer, and thank you all for tuning in. We look forward to seeing you next time as we continue exploring the stories behind incredible entrepreneurs. Stay resilient, stay innovative, and have a wonderful day, everybody.